Welcome to Let's Talk About It podcast, brought to you by Laha. An online platform where adolescent girls and women can access information about their health, safety, and well-being. Our content is based on scientific knowledge for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice or treatment.
My name is Mariam, and today we're diving into a topic that can feel both important and intimidating: talking to your son about puberty. Whether your child is just approaching these changes or already in the middle of them, it's never too late to have this conversation. We'll walk you through why it's important, how to get started, and what to say. Puberty is a major milestone in your child's life, marking a time of both physical and emotional change. For boys, this stage usually begins between the ages of 9 and 14. It's crucial to start these conversations early, ideally around age 9, so your son knows what to expect and understands that you are a trusted source of information. But what if your son has already started going through puberty and you haven't had the talk yet? That's okay. The fact that you're here now shows that you care, and there's still time to provide the support he needs. Talking to your son about puberty can help him feel less alone and scared during this significant time of change. We know this conversation can be tricky. You might feel nervous or unprepared, especially since you'll be discussing topics that aren't usually talked about, like genital body parts. If you're a mother or female caregiver, you might feel even more uncomfortable discussing male genitals. In some cultures, it might even be unusual or unacceptable for a woman to have this conversation with her son. If that's the case, consider asking a male relative, friend, or another trusted individual to speak with your child. But if you decide to take this on yourself, or if you're a single parent, remember that with a bit of preparation, you can handle this conversation confidently. Now, let's talk about some tips. Here are some ways to make this conversation go smoothly. Tip 1. Use real words. It's important for your son to know the correct names for his body parts, including their genitals. Using words like penis and scrotum instead of other words sends the message that there's nothing wrong or weird about these parts of their body. If you haven't been using these terms up until now, it's okay to start. You might say something like, "You know how we've been using the word blank? Well, really, it's called a penis. It's important for us to use real words to talk about our bodies, so that's the word I'll use from now on." Tip 2. Have short talks over time. Puberty is a complex subject that ties into a lot of other big topics like sex and sexuality. You don't have to, and you shouldn't, cover everything in one go. Instead, think of this as an ongoing conversation. Share a bit of information, see how your son reacts, and continue the discussion based on his questions and readiness. Having regular conversations also normalizes these topics and makes them easier to talk about. Tip 3. It's okay not to know everything. If your son asks a question and you're not sure how to answer, that's perfectly fine. You can say, good question. I love that you're asking me what's on your mind, and I want to give you a thoughtful answer. So let me think about it and come back to you soon. Tip 4. Respond without judgment. Your son might ask questions that seem funny or even shocking to you. Try to answer as calmly as possible without judgment. If he sees you're comfortable, he'll feel more comfortable asking questions in the future. Tip 5. Acknowledge his feelings and provide comfort. Puberty can bring up a lot of emotions: loss, fear, frustration, and even excitement. It's important to recognize and validate these feelings. You might say, I wonder if you're feeling X about this. That makes sense. Even if you guess the wrong feeling, it opens the door for him to share what he's really feeling. Now, let's get into some sample scripts that can help you get started with having the conversation. First, to introduce the conversation to your son, you can say, I want to talk to you about something called puberty. Have you heard that word or know what it means? It's totally fine if you have or you haven't. After he responds, you can say, puberty is a normal, healthy part of growing up. It's a stage when healthy body chemicals called hormones start to change your body and how it works and feels. Some of these changes you'll be able to see, and some you can't. Here's what you can say to explain emotional changes. Some changes in puberty you can see in your body, and then there are other changes we can't see, but they're still very real. Those new body chemicals, hormones, can create changes in your feelings and emotions. You may start to feel things more intensely, and sometimes it might feel confusing or overwhelming. If you start to feel this way, it's okay and it's normal. And I want you to know you can always talk to me. Here are some scripts you can use to explain male anatomy changes. You can start by saying, let's talk about the changes that will happen in your body so they won't be a surprise. You might notice getting taller, your voice getting deeper, and your penis, scrotum, and testicles getting larger. You may notice hair growing around your penis, under your arms, and on your face. And when the time is right, we'll talk about how to manage all that change. You'll also want to talk about him with erections. You can say, penises are sometimes soft and sometimes hard. There's nothing wrong either way. When they become hard, it's just because extra blood is flowing there. It can happen when you wake up, when you pee, when you rub it, or sometimes for no reason at all. You'll also want to talk to him about ejaculation. You can say, your body will also start making something new called semen, which is a white fluid that comes out of your penis and has little cells called sperm. Sperm is one of the things needed to make a baby. But it doesn't mean you're automatically ready to do that, or that you will. It just means your body has the parts it needs if you choose to have a baby someday. You can also talk to your son about wet dreams. You could say, you might have something called wet dreams, which is when semen comes out of your penis while you're sleeping. This isn't a problem, and you haven't done anything wrong. It's totally normal, but it is a bit messy. You'll have to wash yourself and change your sheets. I want you to know about this so that you're not worried or surprised or embarrassed when it happens. And you can always talk to me about it and ask me for help. To keep the conversation open and going with your son, you can say, okay, I'm going to stop there. We talked about some important things. And we'll continue to have these talks. As your body changes, it's normal to have lots of feelings and worries. I'll check in with you from time to time. And always know you can come to me with any feelings or questions. I'll never be mad, shocked, or think you have a bad question. I love you very much.
If you have more questions or would like to talk to someone, you can visit laha.org to connect with a service provider through the Find Services button, or explore more topics using the search function.